Okay, so today we are going to add just one more layer to solving equations. And in this case for today, we are going to have variables on both sides of the equations. So if you notice, if you look at these equations that we have on here, when we put our line down the middle, like some of us have been doing every day, you notice that there are variables on the left-hand side and variables on the right-hand side. Ultimately, it doesn't matter which side of the equation they end up on. But we're going to always try to see, if possible, we're always trying to see, can we make it so that our x coefficient is positive? It's not always going to happen, but sometimes it's nice if we have that positive coefficient of x when we have to divide. So, as I say that, if we look at our first example here, okay, we have 10 minus 4x equals negative 9x. Okay, well, I have an x on the left-hand side, and I have an x on the right-hand side. I've got this guy over here, and I've got this guy over here. I do not have a constant on both sides. The only thing that's separated is the x's, which means I want to put all of my x's on the same side. So my first step is going to be, I want to add 4x to both sides. And by doing that, now all we have left on the left-hand side is 10. And on the right-hand side, negative 9 plus 4 is going to be negative 5x. And now we're back to just a one-step equation again, where we divide both sides by negative 5. A positive divided by a negative is negative 2 equals x. Okay, so that one was not quite as involved because we didn't have constants on both sides also. We just had variables on both sides. So let's take a look at an example over here where not only do we have constants on both sides and variables on both sides. So I'm going to look, I am going to put a line down the middle here. And there, I'm going to look on the left-hand side, 13 plus 7x. There's no like terms that we can put together. On the right-hand side, there's no like terms, 6x plus 6. Those are not like terms, can't put those together. And when we start moving things from left to right, going from one side of the equation to the other, I always like to start with my x's, okay? I'm looking at, I've got a 7x over here, and I've got a 6x over here. It doesn't matter which way we move them, as long as the x's end up on one side, the constants end up on the other. But I would choose, in this case, to subtract 6x from both sides. The reason I chose that was because that way when I subtract 7 minus 6, I get a positive 1x as a coefficient. We could have moved it the other way. We just would have had one more step of a negative that we would have had to deal with. So this 13 comes straight down. 7x minus 6x is 1x. My x's are now gone, and all I have left with on the right-hand side is 6. Now I have my x's all on one side. I need my constants to be on the opposite side. So if I have my x over here on the left, I want my constant on the other side. So I'm going to subtract 13 from both sides. And that cancels there. And I have a 1x here. 1x is just the same as x. So I'm going to say x equals 6 minus 13. Okay, opposite sign, subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number, would be negative 7. Okay, so there we have two examples where we have basically needing to get the x's on one side, constants on the other to get x by itself. And just as we have done with all of our other lessons, we kind of start adding a little bit of a step each time here. So in this case, I am going to add distributive property. Okay, we did distributive property already. So if you notice, I've got that negative 8 that is right out in front of the negative 3x plus 3. So I am going to distribute that negative x, keep track of my negatives, do that first. A negative 8 times a negative 3, negative times a negative is a positive 24. A negative 8 times a positive 3, a negative times a positive is a negative. And then we have 7x minus 7. We have not done anything to that side of the equation because we didn't have to distribute. And as we look, also don't have any like terms on the left or right that we can combine. So we are going to go straight to getting our x's on the same side. So I'm going to look at that 24x and 7x. They're on opposite sides of the equation, so I need to do opposite operations. So I'm going to subtract 7x from both sides, making sure I line up everything so that my x's, when I go to subtract, 24 minus 7 is 17x, and everything else over here stays the same. Those x's over here cancel, and I just have negative 7. Now I'm back to where we've been before. I have a two-step equation, so I'm going to add 24 to both sides. My 17x stays over here. Negative 7 plus 24 is 17. And when I divide 17 divided by 17, I end up at x equals 1. Okay, and again, we just keep adding some more things to each one of our problems as we move along here. This next one, if you notice, we've got distributive property on the left and distributive property on the right. So our first step that we are going to do is we are going to distribute on both sides. So let's go ahead and distribute on both sides. So we'd have 3 times x is 3x. Positive 3 times positive 7 is 21. A negative 6 times a negative 3x, a negative times a negative is a positive. And negative 6 times positive 4 would be negative 24. So we distributed, we look, is there any like terms that we can combine? Well, if we split it down the middle, the left-hand side does not have any like terms. The right-hand side does not have any like terms. So now I'm going to get my x's on the same side. So here's my x on the left, here's my x on the right. Again, I am going to choose to subtract 3x from both sides. That way I keep a positive coefficient. If I would have subtracted 18x, I would have had a negative. Just adds a little bit more difficulty. So my x is gone over here, and all I'm left with is 21. 18 minus 3 is 15x, and then we bring down that 24. Now we're down to a two-step equation. So I'm going to add 24 to both sides, and I get 45 equals 15x. All positives here, so that's good. I'm going to divide both sides by a positive. 45 divided by 15 is 3. Okay. Last example, we've got some distributing on both sides, and we have combining like terms. So let's be very careful with this one. Okay, so let's put our line down the middle. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute. Okay, Stacy's negative 6 to both on the left, negative 3 to both of them on the right. So I would have negative 18x, negative 6 times negative 6 is positive 36. We can't forget to bring down that minus 4x. Negative 3 times positive 3 is negative 9x. Negative 3 times positive 1 is negative 3. Now, as we look on the left-hand side of the equation, if you notice, we've got some x's that we can put together on the same side. These are not opposite operations because we're not moving anything from the left to the right. They're on the same side, so they are just combining like terms. So we would have negative 18 and negative 4 would be negative 22x, and then everything else is just going to come down as it was before. So then we just combined our like terms. Okay, now we're going to be going back to what we've been doing. In this case, I've got an x over here, x over here. I'm going to add 22x to both sides. Okay, left, those guys are gone. I've got 36 over here. Negative 9 plus 22 is 13x. I'm going to bring down that minus 3. And then we're just going to get that x by itself by adding 3 to both sides. So we'd have 39 equals 13x. And now we've gone from all those steps down to the very last one, which is divide by 13. And we get 3 equals x. Okay, so we kind of look back at what we did. We went just from very simple variables on both sides to distributing, and then distributing and combining like terms. So our equations keep getting a little bit more difficult each time, but that's okay because I think we're ready for that. So let's look at one last thing. Okay, one last thing to remember. There are certain times when equations don't even have a solution. It's not even possible to get a solution that would work. Or sometimes there's just any number that you put in there for x could actually work. Okay, so we're going to look at examples of that. Okay, so when there's not any solution that'll ever actually work, it looks like this. So on the left-hand side here, we have an example of no solution. That means when we go to solve it, we're going to distribute, and we get 15x plus 2 equals 15x. Well, we can look at this right now and say, pretty sure if I have a number and I add 2 to it, it can't equal the number I started with, right? 15x plus 2 can't equal where I started. But what it looks like algebraically is if I get my x's on both sides, if I subtract 15x from both sides, I'm left with 2 on the left. 15x minus 15x is 0, okay? And as we all hopefully know, 2 does not equal 0, okay? Which means, how do we know? Like, what would our solution look like if there was no solution? Basically, it means our x's cancel out, like there's no more x's, or a variable. They cancel out, so there's no more variable. And what we're left with is an untrue statement. Okay, meaning 0 does not equal 2. Okay, we can put a little does not equal in there that says, and if you ever end up with that, where you have your x's cancel out and you end up with this untrue statement, you will know that there is actually no solution, and your answer, if you have that happen, is going to be no solution. Okay, on the other end of the spectrum, okay, when we have infinitely many means any number that we put in there, in this case for y, any number we put in there will make it true. Okay, it's not only one specific number or no number would work, but any number. Okay, so what that looks like is if we go ahead and distribute, we get negative 8y minus 2 equals, well, lo and behold, negative 8y equals negative 2. Well, if you notice, we have a true statement there that they have the exact same thing on both sides. Okay, well, algebraically, if we take it just another step past that, other than we can identify and realize that, oh, those are the exact same thing on the left and the right, signs, numbers, everything, we could also add 8y to both sides. Our y's cancel on both sides, and we are left with negative 2 equals negative 2. Okay, so how do we know if it is infinitely many solution? Well, over there I said our x cancels out. I'm just going to say our variable, because that's the case for both of these. Variable cancels out. And we get a true statement, meaning the number equals itself. For instance, negative 2 equals negative 2. We could have like 5 equals 5. We could have 0 equals 0. We could have negative 12 equals negative 12, things like that, a true statement. And what that means, if you end up with something that looks like this, where you have a true statement, our answer would be infinite, oops, I spelled that wrong, infinite solutions, or infinitely many solutions. Okay, so you have a homework assignment that you are going to work on for the rest of the class period, and make sure it gets finished and submitted.